David, was it good to actually play a proper game of footy yesterday?
Yeah, it was. We've had a long pre-season, and it was good to actually get 120 minutes of a competitive hit out. We've been doing a fair bit of match simulation in training, but nothing compares to playing against opposition over 4 quarters, and certainly take a lot out of getting our first game under our belt.
Did Sando talk about making sure you're making every post a winner, I suppose, in the pre-season after, I guess, a slow start to last year?
Yeah, look, I think it's important that we try and get back that habit of winning, and every time we want to put the jumper on, we want to go out there and play well and play to win. And we obviously had a number of young guys running out there yesterday who acquitted themselves really well, and it was just, in the end, it was good to get a solid performance where we could try out our systems and structures, and I'm pretty pleased with how it all went.
How pleased with you with Eddie Betts' first game in Crows colours?
Oh, he was outstanding, and it was no surprise to us. The way he's trained over the pre-season has been exceptional. His attitude's been first class, and just the impact he's had on the group's been fantastic. Also off the field, he's going to be a great leader for us as well. So his impact was great yesterday, but no surprise to all the players who have seen him train over the pre-season.
And young Matt Crouch, obviously, no surprise there either. He looked terrific.
Yeah, he has, and similar. He stepped in from day one and has looked. Just looks like he belongs in the AFL. He's got time. He just manages to find the ball, and to have him and Brad, in our squad's really exciting for everyone. And we're certainly hoping that Matt can play senior footy this year, because he certainly looks like he'll be capable of doing that.
He's only a first-year player. How much senior footy could he potentially play?
Oh, look, it's difficult to tell, but he's had a great pre-season where he's got a lot of training under his belt. He's fit, he's healthy, and there's no reason why he can't play a lot of AFL footy this year. Obviously, being a first-year player, and he's only 18 still, so it's going to be there's going to be times throughout the year where he might find it difficult and get tired, and certainly the coaching and physical performance team will make sure that they look after him best they can, but. He's certainly got the right constitution to be able to play a lot of AFL footy, I think.
Is it fair to say that the standard yesterday was below what you'd expect of even NAB Cup games in previous years?
Oh, look, obviously, Port were pretty undermanned, and we certainly had a few guys out as well, and it probably wasn't sort of round one AFL standard, obviously, but the first game of the year, it generally ends up being like that. Obviously, undermanned squads, you got a lot of players on the bench with subs, and it doesn't really have the feel of a first round one or round two game. But having said that, I think we got a lot out of it. A lot of our young guys exposed to playing at that level and playing AFL footy, so it's certainly a positive for us to get that experience.
Personally, you knocked up getting the ball. What do you take out of it beyond just the fitness of a run against opposition?
Oh, it's always good the first game just to get it under your belt. As you can do as much training as you want, but nothing really prepares you for AFL footy like playing against opposition and having 120 minutes of a hit out, and certainly from my perspective, that being able to run out a game and test where you're at physically is really important, so that when you get to the start of the season, you know where you're at, and you're ready to go for 120 minutes of really intense footy.
Dave, you looked terrific yesterday personally. How important is this year for you, and what are your expectations on yourself?
Yeah, look, it's an important year for myself, and as every year is. I certainly want to have a better year than I did last year, and I'm managed to put a few steps in place over the pre-season that will hopefully allow me to do that. The number one thing was to get my body right and to, I guess, get to this point of the year where I can feel really good and be fit and healthy, and that's certainly been able to tick that box. So, but still a few things I need to work on coming into the season, and But really confident that I can have a good year and be part of a winning team. That's what I want to be.
And the team obviously Hendo's a bad loss possibly, and BB out, but generally do you feel like the club's in a good position this year compared to the same time last season?
Yeah, I think so. We've obviously had a couple of those injuries where that's the nature of the game. It's footy, it's what happens. But I think our squad's in great shape overall, and had a terrific pre-season where we've got a lot of work in, worked on a lot of things that we think we were deficient in last year, and I think if we continue to improve as the year goes on, which would be a big focus for us, and there's no reason why we can't have a good year, and the boys certainly feel like they've done the work, and now it's a matter of just refining things and making sure we put it on the par.
And Sando admitted he took the foot off the pedal a bit last year after you made the finals the previous year. Do you feel like your pre-season, the way it's been, and the fact you've hit the ground running is going to help you as well? Yeah,
look, we've made a few slight modifications over the pre-season with our training, and as I said, we've managed to get a lot of work in. So we've left no stone unturned in that regard. And, there's been a couple of areas that we've worked on our deficiencies, and highlighted a few areas that probably let us down a little bit last year. And even from an individual point of view, we've had guys who didn't quite have years that they wanted to have really come back with a bit of a point to prove, to try and go to another level, and certainly get us in back up into the area we want to be, which is playing finals and winning finals. That's what we want to do. So.
Just that stuff you've been working on over the pre-season, what were you most happy with as a team that you were able to do yesterday?
Oh, probably just the younger players coming in and actually performing their roles, and knowing, understanding the way we want to play as a team. And I think, they've managed to learn a lot over the pre-season, and as a group we've gelled pretty well. So I think just having those young guys come in and actually understand their roles and be able to execute them was really pleasing.
Obviously, the team focused, as you just said, the fact that some players didn't play to their potential last year, is that driving the group as well? As you said, that point to prove?
Yeah, I think so. As a whole group, we didn't perform the way we wanted to perform, so I think we're pretty keen to make amends for that. We think we probably underachieved, and doing everything we can to make sure it doesn't happen again, and we maximise the potential that we've got. So as I said, that we've left no stone unturned with our work over pre-season. So now it's just a matter of putting it out there on game day.
With Henderson's injury this morning, were you able to see him after that happened?
Oh, I saw him very, very briefly, but no, it happened. I was inside doing recovery when it happened, so I don't know too much about what happened. But no, the boys are really devastated for Rick, because he's a popular bloke around the club, and he's a terrific player and really important for us. So the boys are really flat about it, and it's just one of those things about being involved in this game. It's the nature of it. Sometimes things like that happen, and it's really unfortunate.
How much impact do you think it'll put on the squad?
Oh, obviously, Rick's a quality player, so we'll have a little bit of an impact. But as David said, we've got a number of guys who can fill a number of roles, and it was really good to see yesterday. We had guys playing a number of different roles, and they were able to execute them really well. So I think we've got a lot of depth there, and when Rick does come back in, he's going to give us a little boost, which will be good.
Sorry, we've got to pull it up there.
Thanks, David.